All right, everybody. Welcome back to Three Crowns. And we'll just get right into it. Let's get to a little bit of ambiance first. Something like that. I think that's what I've been using. All right. So, previously on Three Crowns, the party are on a mission from the king, where they've been asked to trick and then escort a prisoner across the kingdom in an attempt to uh, follow the prisoner to the meeting spot where they were told to meet with their leader. And so the party have been sort of escorting that prisoner Finlane across the kingdom towards where he said the meeting was, Tradewater, the town of Tradewater. And after arriving in Tradewater, the party found that there was something kind of on the rise here in Tradewater. There was a revolutionary army being built and formed in order to oust the king for his described tyranny. And so the party realized that they were under a bit of a time limit here. That they needed to find the bandit king who was causing all the problems that were being ascribed to the king's tyranny, and root him out before the revolutionary army went on the march towards the capital. And so after looking around in town and finding a couple leads and a couple dead ends, the party had their meeting with one of the representatives of the bandit king, which I'm not sure went exactly how they wanted it to. But nevertheless, they must continue. And so, as the party continued to hunt down any lead they can, they realized that there was a death in town. One of the members of the Revolutionary Army had attempted to assassinate the leader and was slain in self-defense. And so the party went. The party decided last time that they were going to investigate where the would-be assassin was staying in the barracks in town that used to be an inn, but has been sort of refashioned into barracks for the Revolutionary Army. And that was where we left off, with the party investigating this lead. Of course, we don't have to hold them to that if they've changed their mind, but that was what they said they wanted to do last time. So just to remind them. So, we'll continue from there. We'll get back into it. All right. So, as the four of you leave the makeshift tavern and have to push your way back through that crowd again, you hear the crowd sort of whispering about an assassin for the king who attempted to take the head of the revolutionary leader. And so you muscle your way through the crowd and back out into the open fishery square. Does anybody remember what time of day it is? 'Cause I was trying to think. I was like, maybe they have a better idea than I do.
It wasn't
Morning,
super
early
late.
morning. Well,
Yeah,
That's what I was
not-
thinking. Yeah, kind of just before midday. You did a couple things today, so it's probably not early morning, but we'll say maybe it's about 11 o'clock. The sun is kind of high overhead, and the boats are all kind of rocking in the harbor. and you may choose your path. Where would you like to go?
To the barracks.
To the barracks.
Very well. Let's copy you guys as a group. So that we can take you around town. Let's get this loading while we can. So, you wind your way back through town, along dirt roads and cobbled roads, and make your way back towards the central square of town, heading towards the inn that's been sort of taken over and refashioned into barracks for the Revolutionary Army in town here. Oh, that's not the right thing. Let's erase the old version of you guys. Get you on the right layer. Perfect. All right. So, yeah, you wind your way through town and back to the square. I'm presuming heading towards the barracks. You can still see people kind of milling about in town today. Crowds bustling down the roads, and many of them wearing that gleaming armor.
Are we going?
Yeah.
I don't know where.
What do you mean? It's right here.
Convenient.
Pretty much.
You head to the north of the square, and just want to copy the version that has the name tag, and make your way into the barracks. Now, as I mentioned last time, the inn has like a new sign kind of nailed over it, carved rather roughshod into wood. The new name reading the Sleeping Lion. Let's get rid of just Teddy and copy the whole gang. And so you make your way into the inn. You can see kind of people also loitering about in here. Most of them soldiers, wearing leather armor, chainmail, and the like.
Teddy's gonna go up to the bar and try to get the attention of the barkeep.
Very well. He's kind of he's in conversation with one of the soldiers, but he kind of pauses and makes his way over to you after seeing you arrive, and sizes you up as he walks over, leans against the counter, and just goes, "Can I help you?"
Keen sent us. That fellow Luker, where was he staying?
He hooks his thumb towards the ceiling and just goes, "Oh, you mean the tiefling fella?
Yep.
Upstairs."
Thank you. Teddy's just gonna go upstairs.
Very well. Oh yeah, the barkeep returns to his conversation. And so you file up the wooden stairs. They creak under your feet as you walk up. But you arrive on the upper floor. I think last time you guys went in here, I think I copy pasted the wrong map. And so
Oh, okay, because it was the same.
yeah, you might have noticed it was the same. That was my improv fix for the fact that I'd copied two of the same map. So it'll look a little different this time. But basically I used the the Fishery Tavern for the inn because I realized I had the wrong map there. But they're similar. So if you notice it looks different, that's why. It's because I made a mistake and I fixed it really quickly, improv, the last time. I was like, these look pretty similar anyway. So yeah, you make your way up the stairs to the top floor of the Sleeping Lion. As you make your way down into the hall, you can see a couple more soldiers just kind of, well, they seem to be loitering, waiting for something out in the hall, kind of out in front of the doors. They notice you, but they don't really make any comment towards you. But as you walk up to this one, he just kind of makes eye contact, waits for you to say something.
Keen sent us? Or we're supposed to be investigating the whole tiefling Lucre situation.
You mean the boss sent you?
Yes. Second pair of eyes.
Yeah, well, I thought he kind of turns back towards the door and trails off. Well, I guess you better talk to them then. It's not my job to sort this out. Makes his way away from you. Leans against the other wall instead,
To
leaving
who?
this door just kind of open.
Okay. This one?
Yeah, he was kind of standing in front of that door, but he
Okay.
moves away from it to allow you to enter,
Yep.
just kind of waving his hand like, this is not my job.
Yeah, Teddy's gonna go up to them and
Yeah, you open this.
yeah.
Yeah, you open this door and you see two figures inside of a long, kind of common room with many cots spread throughout it. The two figures are they seem to be arguing as you enter. One of them a Nyanhari man and the other a human woman. But they quickly stop their arguing as you enter and turn towards you. Both a little bit confused on their faces. The woman just kind of cocks her head and goes, "Who are you?"
I'm here investigating what happened to Lucre.
"You are? I thought that's what we were doing."
We're a second pair of eyes. Keen sent us. I trust his judgment. We
But
helped
if the
save
leader
him,
sent
so
you, I suppose. She kind of
what have
glances
you
back
found?
towards her companion. She glances back to her companion as you ask, "What have you found?" And then she looks back towards you and just goes, "We just got here. We were here on Maldonado's orders, but he didn't give us a whole lot of information."
What information were you given?
Well, he was in a sort of rush with the injury and all. And so he just told us to get down to the Sleeping Lion and block off the barracks room. Make sure no one tampered with the scene.
Smart.
But we're not really sure what to look for. Again, he was in a rush. He didn't tell us a whole lot. The Nyanhari nods. Aye.
Well, then we'll have to take a look. See what we can see. Teddy's gonna look at Kaj and be like, "You're pretty perceptive."
They look past you, Teddy, and they see the others kind of crowded behind you, and then they move to make way to allow you guys to enter.
Can I check these two and see if they're like obviously hiding anything or anything?
Yeah, you can insight check. From your perspective, Kaj, they look annoyed at each other. What was the name you mentioned? Says the woman.
Of the tiefling.
Was it a tiefling?
Yes.
Well, I believe you.
I believe his name was Luker.
I see. Well, not sure if any of these are his beds, but this is the room we were told to block off, so it's probably one of them.
Alright, well, I suppose we should look for a quiver.
Hey, Gale. Is he not coming in?
Heard my name.
Anything shiny in here?
I'll look around. Excuse me. Go underneath the bed. Take a look. Look for anything shiny.
Yeah, you glance under the beds. You don't see anything particularly shiny. It just kind of looks rather dingy. There's cobwebs under the bed. Some people have kind of tucked clothing and boots under the beds, but there's nothing particularly shiny.
Not that I can see, gosh.
Okay.
We don't know which bed, is it? Is it just kind of like a... It could be any bed?
I assume they would sort of take a bed and keep it for a time. So look for a quiver. He only had one arrow with him, so
Yes, that's what I said that the beds would be. That each of them would take one and each of them would keep one. And the Yanhawi just kind of scowls at her. No, that's not how it works. They would just rotate. Whoever's there would take whatever bed. They scowl at each other.
well, I believe most humanoids are creatures of habit. So if there's a bed that they have already in possession, they feel like they have a claim to it and will take that bed again. But it matters not. We only need to know which one he used last night to see where his stuff is.
The woman kind of just raises her hands and just goes, very well then, you seem like you are more informed on the situation than we are. I want to wash my hands of this anyway. Just moves out of the way and stares out the window.
Eddie's looking for a quiver.
Alright, yeah, you scan across the beds and you reach the one down here. And there is what appears to be sort of a leather quiver lying on the bed.
This one looks promising.
And Gail, as you're looking under beds, by the time you reach this one and kind of scan under it, you see just kind of what appears to be, at first they look like sticks, but as you kind of shuffle them out from under the bed, you realize that they're broken arrow shafts with feathering towards the end.
That's weird. Why are they broken?
Make an investigation check. You have advantage on this because Teddy is here.
12.
Gail, you're not quite able to discern why they might be broken, but Teddy, as you kind of look at them, you realize these are failed attempts at crafting arrows.
He was trying to make arrows. He's no Fletcher. So that makes sense as to why he only had one attempt.
Also under the bed, Gail, are a spare pair of boots and a little bit of clothing. Some undershirts and stuff folded up, stuffed under there.
Oh, he also had. Oh, sorry. He look, pull it out. Couple extra clothes.
Does it look to be his size?
It would certainly fit him.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm.
Not overly large or overly small.
All right. Oh, can we check the boots?
All right.
Teddy wants to check the boots and see the bottoms.
Okay.
And he wants to like see if there's ash or anything on the bottom of the boots.
Okay. Make an
Or if they look-
investigation check for that. But you know what you're looking for, so it won't be a hard one.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Eight.
that's sufficient. You definitely see that there's no ash there, but that's all you get. It just kind of
Okay.
looks like caked mud.
Okay. No ash, so chances are he's not the one who was in the burned building.
Yeah, I was thinking of the same thing.
Smiley face. Um, hmm. I
What
don't
else
know
would
what
you like to
else
look
we
at?
can. Oh, can we check the the pillows and blankets and stuff? The bedding?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you could just kind of pull back the bedding, um, and as you kind of pull back the blanket on top, and then maybe the sheets as well, just to be thorough. As you pull back the sheet and find like the straw of the cot under it, you notice that there's something folded up and tucked into the bedding.
Uh, Teddy's gonna pull it out.
Yeah, it's a folded piece of parchment.
He's gonna try to not overtly stealthily look at it and stuff, but he's gonna try since he's
Are
gonna try
you
and yeah.
you trying to make these two not notice it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, as he's just going through the
Yeah, they're like again, she's staring out the window. He's just kind of sulking in the corner, so they're not like particularly watching you intently. Um but if you kind of turned your body away from them to face like Kaj and then opened it, they wouldn't see you.
Okay, yeah, that's what he's gonna do.
All right. Then yeah, you open the note. And this is what you see. Everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Scrawled in a dark ink across the paper is the message: "The Prince of the Revolution dies tonight."
Peering over Teddy's shoulder, can I see anything strange about this parchment?
It's not glowing, if that's what you mean. There's no magic here. In the far corner of the page, as you unfurl it, is a small scribbled sigil of a crown.
Would we have
Teddy,
seen enough sigils to like discern whether or not that's genuine or that's a fake?
have we seen
Sigils of
it
what?
before?
The crown. That crown marking.
Yeah, do we know which crown this is?
You've not seen it before, no.
Okay. Teddy's just gonna fold up the parchment and tuck it into his pocket.
Very well.
Gail, do you, I don't know, like, smell or taste anything?
Hmm. Anything, Rusty?
Nope.
Nada.
Worth a shot. Well, there's not much more I think we can get from here.
Jury check this.
I don't think anyone did.
Little trunk.
Oh, the trunk? No. Whoops. I thought those were metaphorical trunks.
False trunk.
What do you mean by that?
Nah, each of the
You're
cots
just
has like
scared
a
of
little.
mimics.
Yeah, each of the cots has a little footlocker with a lock on it to allow soldiers to store their things here, or what once would have been ingoers. Teddy, the lock doesn't look particularly sturdy. It's just kind of a simple lock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's gonna open the lock.
Yeah, it doesn't take you long to pick it, and it clicks open. And you open it and you find more folded clothes, but under them you also find a little coin purse with 20 gold in it.
He's gonna toss that to Kosh.
And Kosh is gonna toss it back and looking like a weird look.
That's it. There's nothing else in there.
That's about it. Just kind of just clothing stored in here.
Clothes. You see, or
We see what?
to see if he wants to like keep one of the clothes or something, and then be like, no, not.
Okay,
not
you
the time.
just
Okay.
you trailed off, so I didn't catch what you said.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then he's gonna get up and be like, yeah, I think we're done here.
I don't have to go up.
No, we'll have to talk later, but I believe we could tell them what we know. He looks at Gale and sort of tries to not to tries to like kind of show that he's not going to say anything about the note. Kind of like glances at his pocket and like subtly nods his head or like shakes his head, and then go over to those two and be like, well, we finished our preliminary investigation. Not much to go on, but it seems like he's very amateur. We found he was attempting to make arrows, and he was not good. Looks like perhaps he had less of a foresight than expected, though since he failed, that makes sense.
Well, all right then. Was it that bed over there? She kind of points to the one you guys were looking at.
Yes.
She shoots a scowl at the neon hair. I told you it was that one. He just shakes his head. Well, did you receive any more orders from the boss?
No. He just said we were able to do our investigation as well, so
That's it. He didn't tell you if we're supposed to let people in here after you. All
nope.
the folks outside are rather cross that they can't, get to their room.
I mean, if you want to keep them from the bed for a little longer, you can.
Is that what
He's
you need?
currently in recovery, but we've gotten what we needed, so I think it should be fine for them to come
You'd
in.
be fine if they come back in then.
Yep.
Don't want to trample on your crime scene.
Seems like it should be okay.
Well, all right then.
When did they send you two over here?
Not too long ago. We're just going by the tavern down in the fishery, you know, for breakfast, and all of a sudden people are rushing about. Maldonado's there, and he says, "We need you to go and make sure no one goes in the upstairs barrack room. Block it off. No one tampers with it. That kind of thing." So we hurried over. Again, not really sure what's going on.
Hmm. That seems like a fast response.
But it seemed awful important. Everybody was
very
kicking up quite a
important,
fuss.
of course. Teddy's gonna kind of inch slightly towards the door. Well, if you don't mind,
All
we
right then.
have to.
If you're finished here, then we'll let people back in so they can stop complaining. She says it a little louder so that everybody hears.
Yes. Thank you too.
She nods, shoots a scowl at the Neon Harry. Now, as you guys make your way back down the stairs and along the hallway, you can hear the woman just kind of going, "All right, everybody. They said it's all right to go back in." And then you hear some grumbling and some finallys from the crowd. And
Man,
the
they
four of you
didn't
make
like each other.
your way back down to the tavern floor. Well, the inn. Same thing.
Straight outside.
Very well. Then yeah, you make your way right back outside into the square.
Well, you know, like,
And so, as you leave the inn and arrive back out in the morning light, what do you do?
Uh, Teddy's gonna immediately start walking towards like where the church is, because that's the place they know is safe to talk. But once he's out of earshot of anyone who isn't the party members, he's gonna tell Kaj and Tibbs the note he found.
Very well. Yeah, you kind of make your way along the road towards the church, and as soon as you get a bit of a distance away from the square, there's a lot less people milling about, and so there's no eyes looking at you. So you kind of quiet your voice and tell them about the note that you found.
So I think we know what a third crown is.
A lot of talk of princes.
Well, we know one is king, but who? I don't think that we should have this note on us, so I'm going to give it to Kaj to burn, but I want to keep the symbol of the crown.
Do we know which one this is?
No.
Who would
Benefit from this? That
know?
wouldn't
Who
be the
would
band.
know?
Oh,
Who would have seen this before?
I mean, I don't know.
You can
I
go
would-
check with. Do you think
I
Finn would
would
have seen it?
Perhaps
He
you
would at
could
least be able to
check.
distinguish the Bandit King from and the Rogue King. At the very least.
Runica could probably do it as well.
Yeah, you can go check with him before we burn it.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm going
Unless
to
you just
keep
want
the
to make a little sketch of it or something. Okay.
Yes, and I don't want this on us.
You
You
can
know.
make a sketch of it. You could just tear off the corner. It's up to you.
He's just gonna tear up the corner.
Very well. Yeah, you tear off the little crown to separate it from the rest of the text, and you give the
Gives
rest of the text to Kaj.
Yep.
Very well.
Yeah, I'll just produce flame and burn it.
Yeah, you just produce flame in the center of your hand, then it just turns to ash in your hand as it smokes and smolders.
I think that it seems very, very amateur to leave this. Even more amateur than not being able to make your own arrows.
Yeah, it
So
didn't seem like a
perhaps-
problem for him before. Maybe I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Perhaps this was a plant.
What do you think about the two they sent over there?
Personally, I think they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but why would they? I guess they were just the first two people they found.
I think they were here for breakfast, and I think they needed. What I am interested in is why one of the main, like the right hand man of the persons that's dying, is across town telling them to.
To be clear, she said the tavern specifically, which is what they all call the fishery place.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Just they were over there. They were there for breakfast. They walked in, saw a commotion. Someone ran up to them, who was their boss, and told them to go stand in the
Okay.
inn. That was what she was trying to tell you.
All right.
Just to clarify that.
So perhaps it was just the two that were there. Ones that won't question.
Okay.
And
So we can go check
perhaps don't get
this-
anything done.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they were doing a whole lot in there. Or maybe they were. Maybe they're very good at hiding it. We can go check this crown with Finn and Runica and see if they know anything, and then we still have the sending stone we can test
Yes.
stuff out with, right?
Yep. I say we go find out about the crown first.
Sounds good to me.
I have a question, Ruga.
Yep.
What was that back there that you were doing when you were looking at me, looking at your pocket and stuff? I was really confused.
Oh, I was hoping you didn't mention the note, and you didn't. So, good
Oh.
job, Gil.
Thanks.
We're unbelievably lucky. I've just found out. I thought you understood.
Nope, you were far too confusing for me to understand.
So is your next destination the church then?
Yep.
Yep.
Very well.
Take me to church.
Oh yeah, you make your way to the outskirts of town to the church, and walk inside. And it is it's as you left it.
I thought you were gonna move, Gail.
Hope.
He only moves in short bursts.
Move in my own time.
You make your way back over to the organ, and I'm presuming activate the hidden lever to unlock the
Yep.
door. Very well.
Home.
Yeah, with a long tone and a click, the door unlocks, and from the let's get rid of that. From the open door, you see Runica emerge. First weapon at the ready, but she recognizes you and sheathes it once more. Did you need more aid? She says.
We did, yes. We found a symbol of a crown. We were wondering if either you, Finn, or Gray had ever seen it. Wow, Finn, you've grown.
What has she been feeding you?
Yeah, the others kind of emerge after Runica on hearing your voices. You needed my help then? Finn asks.
Anyone can, yes. If you've ever seen this symbol before, Teddy's gonna hand over the piece of parchment.
Yeah, you hand it to Runica. She takes a look. She brings it up to her nose and she sniffs it. Scrutinizes it a little bit more. Then passes it to Gray. And as she passes it to Gray, she says, "Never seen it." Gray takes a look at it and just almost immediately says, "I'm not familiar, sorry." And he passes it along to Finn, who also scrutinizes it. It doesn't look like... No, it doesn't look right. It's not the symbol that the organization would use. He kind of stresses the word organization, assuming you know what he means.
Mm-hmm. Teddy nods.
They would sign everything with it, but this is not that symbol.
And this is not the symbol of the king either.
Well, can't say I'm familiar with much of that.
Do you know if there were ever rumors of a third king
A third
or
king?
another faction?
Not really, no.
Runica, are there tales of a king for the devils?
Well, that sort of thing is... Well, it's a rather vacuous question, Gail. There's tales spanning all through history of all manner of demonic royalty.
They wouldn't by chance be on this earth, will it? This existence?
This plane, we would know. If any higher devils walked our plane, I imagine they'd be causing a lot more problems for us.
Was it that was in the Fortune Gale?
What, mine? On my fortune?
I think it was in mine. The Prince of Chains.
Let me try and think back. And
Runica straightens up when you say that.
there was was it the pale shades and whitecaps? The note betrays his fear. Whether 2 or 3 crowns, the Prince of Chains draws near.
And that's it.
Yeah, Runica does straighten up when you say the Prince of Chains aloud. Prince of Chains?
Hmm.
You see her brow kind of furrow. Those are old stories, and No, that's not possible.
Do you
Kinda
mind
shakes her head.
if I tell you the other fortunes, Runica? Maybe they'll help.
I
Click.
suppose.
Uh, we also had eyes and shadow, wreath and hate. The cage won't hold. The hour grows old. The little bones meet their fate.
Can't say I'm familiar with that.
How about in halls of stone and earth, the castle sits alone. Imposter king with a crooked crown, atop a paper throne.
Hmm. Doesn't sound familiar. Well,
Alright,
other than you lot throwing around banded kings and the real king and all that stuff. Other than that, it doesn't sound like any demonic lore that I've ever heard.
alright. One more. In Old Moon High,
She
it
straightens up
reaches.
as soon as you say Old Moon.
What would it do?
The Old Moon.
Oh, right, yeah. In Old Moon High, it reaches out and crowns the petty crook. A red domain, an empty rule, he cannot bear to look.
The Old Moon. Now that I have heard of.
What's the old moon? Does it have to do with Lady Hannah being the second moon?
It does. It relates to that, yes. There are old stories. Again, these are all just fables, some of them, children's stories. But there are rumors that before our moon, there was another, something more sinister, uh, a dark and evil sort of magic. And they would say that when it rises, that's when our realm is at its closest point to the infernal circles. The stories also say that Hana was the one who stopped that our second moon put an end to it. But again, these are all just old legends.
What
Well-
more did you know about the Prince of Chains?
Well, that's another old legend. They say one of the higher devils, one of the royalty of the infernal circles, goes by that name. But I don't see how that would factor in. All of the old stories that I've heard, scribblings and scripture and all that, they all say that he was sealed away. The story goes that he was sealed away by Morningstar into a scarecrow. So the story goes.
Morningstar. Is that not war?
The goddess, yes.
Hmm.
I'm confused.
There seems to be a lot to this fortune.
let's say hypothetically speaking, he got out of the Scarecrow. Would he still be able to exist on this plane?
Well, that's a complex process for devils, as I understand it. The infernal body does not cope well with our plane. They would need something physical to anchor them. Often they use the bodies of mortals.
Like a young girl's body.
Well, anybody would do.
So, what are the odds that all of this is a coincidence? That the devil that we killed with Gale had chains and was trying to get someone possessed. Hmm. Did they ever say what their name was?
That a question for the party or for me?
Oh, that was for the party.
Are you
What
talking
did you
about
say?
the chain guy or the guy who's trying to possess?
The one possessing.
Gale kind of walks away. Away from earshot. Hey, I know you're there. What do you know about this fella? He seemed to know who you were.
You're asking
Stray.
the wind, the stray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you wait for a moment and then a wind kind of blows through the old broken church doors, and you feel it kind of envelop you. And carried along the wind is a sort of deep howling voice that says, "The prince lies sealed." And that's all.
What, you can't give me like a location or anything? Or like a vague idea?
You don't hear anything else.
He's sealed for now.
Runica
Cool.
just stares blankly
Talk
at
to
you.
him?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, he's sealed. The Prince of Trains.
Well, yes, that's what I said in the story, but she just kind of gives up halfway through her sentence.
These stories, well, we already know that a lot of stories have more truth to them. What with the Bard of Belisandre and whatnot.
Well, I
Maybe we should
suppose.
start taking some of this slightly more importantly.
I suppose you're right, but if the stories are true, then the Prince of Chains is sealed away, and he'd be but a shadow of his self on this plane, unable to enact anything. Certainly unable to be summoned or possessed into a body.
What if the old moon is. If it's coming?
Well, I don't think it's that simple. The old moon doesn't just rise naturally, at least not anymore, with our second moon. But I suppose if someone. She just trails off and looks at the ground. Could be possible, but I would have no idea where to even start with something like that.
Hmm. Sacrifice is most likely necessary, correct?
Of course, but not some small sacrifice, not some bled chicken or even the heart of a mortal. It'd be far beyond that.
More like an army.
Even that I'm not sure. It would take quite something.
Because it seems as if somebody wants a war. And now that things are wrapped up in the demonic, perhaps the war is just the sacrifice that is necessary to bring about the evil.
I suppose that's possible.
But who would benefit from this? We don't have enough information. Teddy's gonna look at Kaj. Do you think we should try to use the stone?
Hmm. That's our next lead, yeah. Do we have anything else we should run by Runica that she might know more about?
Not that I know of.
I don't think Faye said anything about who they were when I was doing the exorcism. But I'm not very. That was my first time doing it, so. I don't even know if I could do it again.
They wouldn't even address me, so I never got the name. In fact, Teddy kind of looks a little annoyed. I think I'm the only one they didn't address.
Correct.
Sorry.
Bless you.
I was, yeah, thank you.
Teddy kind of looks like he's sulking. I'm charming.
So are we fighting the moon, or did I misunderstand something?
Hope not.
Oh, well, there's a good moon and a bad moon. a good moon's keeping the bad moon at bay, but that someone might be bringing back the bad moon. The bad moon's the one we might have to fight because the bad moon's the one that wants to bring the Prince of Chains. At least that's what I'm getting from this.
Second question. How do we fight a moon?
I mean, you need a god. Teddy looks at Kaj.
Hmm?
You talk to gods?
You do?
I talked to Hestia. I don't know if she's a god. I don't think she'd like me calling her that either.
Oh,
Now, you would understand she's not, Kosh.
Yeah,
She would be referred to as a saint.
a saint.
oh, I just assumed she's so holy that she must be a god.
It feels like she's still doing what she can to serve something higher too, but
Hmm.
I'll have to see if I can get some more guidance from her. Maybe tonight before we sleep.
Can we just get her boss to help?
Her boss.
Her boss.
With context, that's funny.
I don't know any gods.
Teddy kind of looks at his hands. I don't know how I feel about gods.
So what now?
Check
Well,
with the stone.
the stone. What should we do? Should we just say whose voice should we use?
Dibs.
Huh?
These tips was.
Oh, I said dibs, but sure.
Oh, dibs.
Oh.
Oh, also, thank you, Rinika. We know a lot more about that now.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. She's kind of still a little lost in thought.
I feel like we should be thinking out loud for the people here who definitely don't get it.
I'm sorry. That's just a lot of old writing. Back when I was studying at the old priories, I really thought they were all just stories. It's just a lot to deal with, that's all.
No worries, I totally get it. He does like the motion to like these two, like they wouldn't get it, but well, give the stone to Gale then.
Oh, I was gonna say I would speak, but whose voice do you want me to use? But if you want Gale to go, sure.
Oh no, he seems pretty keen on it.
Teddy has a smile on his face.
You could just talk as him too.
That's what I was saying, but if you want Gale to go, sure. Gale?
Ruva.
Alright, maybe don't give it to Gale. Maybe run it as Gale.
We should probably plan this, though.
Do we have to speak as anybody? Can we make a noise to it and see if we get a response?
We could.
Like a cough?
You wanna meow
What?
Meow.
as if a cat found the stone?
Can you meow?
I was gonna say you.
Can a
Oh.
cat even activate the stone?
I want to
Uh,
hear you meow now.
he can become a cat. Of course he can meow.
No, all I can do as a cat is meow.
That. Would he respond to it?
No, I don't think
No, if this random animal came and activated the stone, I don't know if they respond.
That seems just stupid.
so. You don't think? I mean, I might wonder.
I think they might if you are obviously a human meowing.
Noid.
I think that would get a response.
What is
I
happening?
can't
Yeah,
argue with that, actually. That makes
that
sense.
is true.
It's like, instead of over, you just meow.
We're very
Or-
good at this whole espionage thing.
Well, I would have gone to say report
I mean,
Or
hell,
Schmidt.
I'll do it.
and then hear what they say or whose voice it is.
Well, Tibbs can do it, and if at some point Tibbs gets mixed up in what to say back, then you can just copy his voice, right?
Very true.
So am I doing it?
Sure.
Sure.
All right, hand it over.
Yep.
Sure.
Teddy's gonna hand over the stone.
How do I activate it?
You hold it in your hand and then activate it.
Was it like active right now?
This thing on.
How do I know if it's on? Are you, hello?
I don't know who you're asking. I don't know if you were just talking to the party or if you were specifically
You're
asking
just
me. 'cause
saying
it
it out
sounded
loud.
like you were-
Look at Tibbs, I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
I
figured
haven't
you were
used
asking
it
that.
He's looking at Teddy.
Oh, Teddy's just smiling.
He'll put it up to his fucking mouth, like as close as he can. Hello, meow.
You get kind of a long pause, Tibbs. And then a voice just kind of quickly asks, Nedrick, is that you?
He just looks at Teddy. Yeah, meow.
Silence.
Turn it off.
He meow. Meows. He mouths how?
Just put it in your pocket. Put it in your pocket.
He does. He just throws it. He'll just chuck it over here.
Yeah, it is across the church stone.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Well, somebody responded to
So,
ask for
What
a
name did they ask for?
Nick.
Netric?
Metric.
Netric?
Nedrick?
Oh
That's what
shit.
I heard. Netric.
Nedrick.
Netric.
Do you know a Nedrick?
Hmm. Do you
Uh,
know Nedric?
let me consult the list of names I have in my head.
He's thinking real hard right now.
I'm thinking real hard.
Finn, do you know a guy named Nedrick?
Hmm. He thinks long and hard. Not sure. There was a lot of people coming and going that I worked with for the, you know. Maybe there was a Ned? But not on that last job. That was a while back.
Yeah, I'm not coming up with anything in the old head.
Hmm.
Did it sound like a? Was it like a woman?
It was a male voice.
Oh shit.
If we can find this Nedrick, then our friend here, I'm going to nod over at Teddy and copy the voice so we can get more information about this.
Hmm.
You think he's still alive?
Wait. The only Ned I know. This is gonna be weird.
Hmm?
Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember that guy who loved to fight? In Silken Shore?
One that was getting beat up. I remember that.
That guy's name was Ned. But, I mean, there could be so many.
Seems like a bit of a long shot.
Yeah. Besides, he was a drunken brawler.
It's also complete opposite side of.
Yeah, well, Silken Shore is a place of trade. With the trade being closed off, one wonders. He could have joined the army or something.
Well, we've been to a lot of the places here. I feel like
We
he's
would have.
probably dead. I mean, you think he just dropped the rock on the way out, or
Well, someone seemed to be looking for it, correct? So, yeah, and it's such a long shot. There's
What if
I
we're just
don't
honest
know.
and just be like, hey, don't know who the person is. He's probably dead. Do you need some help?
Will they respond anymore?
I
You'd
don't
meow at
know
them.
after you mount them.
You didn't say not to.
I
You just stood there and
all
smiled.
right, all right. That's because you were meowing.
I don't know how to do that.
Teddy's gonna grab the stone and
Could also ask Abel. They know Nedrick.
put it in his pocket. Well, I don't have that stone anymore, remember?
What'd you do with it?
I gave it to Kosh.
You can just have it back.
I think you gave it to me, actually.
Oh, I gave it to Gail. Okay, I gave it to.
I meant it more as a general thing, not specific.
Oh wait, I have the stone.
What? Why are you? What are you doing? Is he shy about public speaking or something?
I don't know.
So, Kill, you make your way over into the corner. And what do you do?
Pull out the stone. And I was like, testing, testing. Can you hear me?
You wait a moment, and then you hear Abel over it say, "Copy. Do you have an update?"
Yeah. So we sort of met with the contact, but the contact kind of already knew about us and vaguely had an idea of what was going on. Also, we're still kind of struggling to figure out where to go from here, and now we've discovered that there might be a third king or alleged king or something. Oh, hey, by the way, there's a rebellion going on over here, but don't worry about that too much. I'm pretty sure it's related to the other king. Oh, and Luker's dead.
I'm sorry, Luker.
Yeah, the chiefling who was going to
The-
become a knight, who didn't make it to be a knight.
Of course, of course. He's dead.
Kaputs.
All right. How does that relate to our mission?
Well, the person who came was like talking to us. I tried to throw her off of our scent, and it was like, oh, yeah, he's the one who's actually with the king. Blah blah blah. And well, that got him killed. I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if they're still thinking that we're involved with you guys, but it's a possibility. They certainly don't trust us,
Tell them that
and we kind of ruined that bridge as well.
Luker tried to kill, and then
Oh, yes. He also tried to kill the rebellious leader. Do you know anything about that? It was weird. There was a letter. It said, the thingy of the revolution dies tonight, and well, he sucks and got killed. There was
Sorry,
also a weird crown on it.
This Luker fellow tried to kill the leader of the revolution.
Yes, he had a letter that said the prince of. Oh, that's what it was. Prince of the revolution dies tonight, and there was a little crown on it. It was a weird looking crown. It kind of had looked like it had like flowers as like the tips on the top.
I see. Well, if you're thinking it's from the crown, I didn't put any order like that.
Well, that's good.
oh, what's their crown symbol look like? Do you remember?
Does the king's crown, like the sigil for it or whatever, does it look anything like what I described? Like it has like flowery points and whatnot.
A crown? No, the king uses the sigil of the griffin.
Do you know of any groups that uses a crown?
Besides the Bandit King.
Other than the masked crown of the Bandit King, no.
Awkward. Well, that's all we have at the moment.
Are you thinking that this lucre was put up to this by the Bandit King?
No, it wasn't the same sigil as the Bandit King. And I'm pretty sure the one who, well, either the Bandit King did kill him, let him be because they knew the truth, or the third party told him to kill the Revolutionary King, but he just sucks at doing anything, so he failed. It's kind of hard to tell.
Well, he was the fellow who failed out of the King's Guard. But I'm not sure what to think about this yet. Keep me posted.
Sure, sure. Click.
You just say click
Mm-hmm.
and then
As I
just put it in
as
your
I put it in my pocket.
Click.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. I think we should try and find out who the person is on this side of the other side of the stone. Tell them that Nedrick is probably dead.
Oh! I pull it back out. Hey, do you know a Nedrick?
Nedrick?
Mhm.
No, the name's not familiar.
Oh, okay.
Is a Nedrick related to this as well?
So side story. There was a building that went on fire. Apparently, the town's guard that were here in this location were fighting with revolutionaries, and a building started to burn. And then we found a sending stone.
I'm
in
sorry,
that-
you saying that the Revolutionary Army burned down the town watch barracks?
Oh, I don't know which building that was. Probably
Tell him yes.
you're not with me. But anyways, I found a stone, and we tried to
You-
use it.
It would make sense. They'd need to establish themselves as the authority in town. Ousting the town
Oh.
watch, if the town watch was sympathetic to the crown, that would be the first step.
Oh, so we can trust them.
Trust who? He's struggling to follow your train of thought.
The person on the sending stone, the one who's asked for Nedrick. He's probably a crown's guard, is what you're saying, right?
I don't know who this sending stone belongs to. I wouldn't say trust, I would say ascertain their identity first. I wouldn't trust anyone.
All right. Be in touch. Bye. Click.
Uh,
Poor Abel having to keep up with that.
How'd it go?
Pretty good. Well, pretty good for him because he's got the update. Pretty bad for us because we don't know anything. He wasn't able to really tell us anything. He didn't know about another crown. The king doesn't use a crown; he uses a griffin.
oh, of course.
Told him about Lucre. He didn't order anything from Lucre. And then, what else was there? He thinks that the sending stone could have belonged to a member of the Crown's Guard. Maybe, but he wasn't really sure. He just said it's not. It sounded like it's not really uncommon for a barracks to have one. So it might be a good contact. I can call him if you want.
Is everyone okay with that?
That's what we got for
Wow.
now.
All right. Teddy's gonna activate the sending stone,
Very well.
and he's gonna say, "Hello, meow." um,
You just immediately get a voice. Who is this and why do you keep meowing?
yeah, I apologize for that. We are. Look, we found this stone at the site of a fire, and we are fairly certain that the person that you are looking for has been killed. But we are trying to ascertain who did the killing, and therefore we are hoping that you will be helpful with information.
Who is this? Who am I speaking to?
Well, my name's Teddy.
No answer.
Ask him who's his affiliation. Is he with the Crown's
What?
Guard?
Yeah. What is your affiliation? Are you with the Crown or the Revolutionary Army?
No answer.
Hmm. Because at this point, we're fairly certain that the Revolutionary Army is the one that is responsible for the death of Nedrick.
Still no response.
We will keep this stone in case you are interested in helping, as you are the only one, the only lead we have currently. Maybe we can help each other with information later on. And then he's just gonna deactivate it. Put it
Yeah,
in his pocket.
you just get silence to the end of that, and then you deactivate it.
Well,
Dead end.
perhaps. Unless they want to find out who we are. Perhaps they'll reach out. If not, we can reach out again.
What do we do?
From here,
Mm-hmm.
try to find a god.
Easy.
That seems
They
the
closed
most.
the only church in town, though.
We're inside.
I don't really have a stone to talk to a god.
We could go explore the woods. There was weird stuff
For
going
fun?
on there. Sure, yeah, there was creepy stuff going on there. Maybe something was affecting it. Something related to the rusty smell that Renika mentioned and that I noticed earlier.
Or just pale shades and
Pale
nightcaps.
shades and the nightcaps.
Perhaps those are.
One thing I'm confused about, because Finn, you said that crown looked incorrect, right? But did it look similar to something that you've seen before?
Well, the organization uses the crown, but there's always a mask attached to it. You've seen it, yes?
Yeah,
Yes.
you've seen that. So is this someone trying to pretend, like, fake a note from the king or something?
Well, I'm not sure what to think.
I don't think. I get the feeling, considering that the money that we use are called griffs, that most people remember that the king uses a griffin for his symbol.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps it's an organization within an organization,
So someone else entirely.
or someone innocent entirely. Well, they said something about like a puppet, right? Or a paper throne. A paper throne could be a throne that you think you're on, but really there's a real throne behind it, and you're just the face, like a mask.
Oh, what if the king is really just a puppet?
What about the prince?
The real prince or the
The real prince?
Why would they call the rebellion guy a prince too? That's kind of weird.
That means that he's not the king of the rebellion. He's the prince of the rebellion.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier.
Yeah, so who's the king of the rebellion? Or of the revolution? Maybe they don't even know.
I don't have a guess, honestly.
Neither do I. I need more information. There's nothing to go off of right now.
How do we get more info right now, though?
We just have to look for it. We could always try to get in well with the Revolutionary Army, but I don't feel great about that.
I mean, you could just give him the note. It would,
We can't.
or
The
tell
note.
him of the note.
Oh,
That
and
would
explain that we
be the
felt it'd be a
easiest
good idea to
way.
burn it.
I mean, he did ask you to go look, so like he will be expecting you to return.
We could
Show him the crown.
show him the crown and tell him that we got rid of the note.
You don't even have to mention the rest of the note.
What?
You don't have to mention the rest of the note if you have
That's
to.
true. We
can
found
just-
this. We could just say we found this. That's
It's up to
true.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't really see what else we can do.
Yep. I say we go.
Okay.
Thanks again, Renica. You guys all stay safe.
Of course. If you need more information or if you want to update us, do come back. The church will remain a safe place for you to rest.
Thank you.
Gosh, if you don't mind blocking them.
Mm-hmm. I'll close the door after they're going in, and then come pull the lever again.
Yeah, you lock the door behind them and make your way back, following the party back out of the church and through town. What's your destination?
The fishery. I think is what the tavern is, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very well. Yeah, so you make your way back to the fishery. As you guys kind of arrive, you can see that the crowd that was like bustling about out front of the fishery is mostly dispersed, kind of all back to doing their own thing, no longer fussing over the events of the morning. And so you make your way back to the front of the tavern, where, of course, the guard out front recognizes you guys and allows you to enter.
Before he enters, Teddy's gonna ask, "Have you seen Ned?"
Ned?
Ned.
Don't know any Ned.
Okay. And he's just gonna go inside.
He just shrugs and turns away. And so you all you enter. I gotta adjust a couple things in here, but I'll bring you in anyway. Oh yeah. So the four of you make your way back into the tavern. You can see some things have been moved around. Luker's corpse is no longer lying on the ground, but you can see a blood stain that this fellow's mopping up. You make your way back over to Dominic Keene, who's seated at this table here. He's got kind of his shirt draped over his shoulders, like a jacket draped over his shoulders. But you can still kind of see his bare chest where the scar that was left is down by his stomach. He sees the four of you approach. I'm presuming Gale does too. Gale said BRB, so I'll have him just kind of walk up with you guys. I don't know if Gale's back yet, but as you approach Mr. Keene, he just kind of looks you all over and just expectantly just says, "Any news?"
Well, we did the investigation and we found this. Teddy's gonna hand over the little scrap of paper with the crown on it.
Yeah, you hand it
Does
to him. He
mean
just kind
anything
of
to you?
he holds it in his hand. He turns it over and just kind of says, "This was all you found."
Yes, he seemed. We didn't know exactly what it meant, so we decided not to tell the others that were there, but to keep the secrecy of the information. But yes,
He kind of stops for a moment. He goes, "The others? You mean at the barracks?" He looks off towards this guy here, and goes, "Nina and Cress." And you see this guy just kind of nod. I sent them there to keep others from tampering with the scene. And he nods, and then Dominic Keene looks back towards you guys.
overall, it seems that he was trying to craft arrows badly, and
Badly.
yes, he had a bunch of broken attempts under his bed.
I see, and he turns the note over, the little piece of paper over in his hand. He just kind of, this isn't much to go on at all.
No. Does it look in any way familiar to you?
Well, it's crowned, so I guess my first instinct is to say, well, the king. He glances across at his other people, and they all just kind of nod along. It would make sense.
Would it?
Well, I'm the leader of the Revolutionary Army. It would make sense to assassinate a rival.
You think the
True.
king sent somebody that couldn't craft their own arrows to kill you, though?
He kind of mulls that over, doesn't say anything. You kind of see him consider it. It is odd.
We didn't know if the scrap of paper had been planted or not. So,
But if not the king, then who?
that
I
is.
don't exactly have too many enemies in Tradewater. He looks around at all of his guys, the tired, swarming tavern full of his own men.
Perhaps not in Tradewater, but some actions may have reverberating consequences. And it seems as if someone very much so wants fighting to happen with no one to win.
No one to win. And then he looks around at all of his own people. Well, you have seen Tradewater. Everybody wants fighting to happen.
Ah, yes, but you want to win.
We're going to win.
Teddy thinks about it and says, that is definitely the mindset one needs in order to achieve greatness.
Aye. You can't spend all your days looking back in doubt.
However, it is well known that the king's symbol is the griffin rather than the crown. So perhaps it is an element, a foreign element, that is attempting to instigate this.
Well, I suppose that's possible, but do you have any proof of that?
Well, I have been traveling, and as we mentioned earlier, there were caravans that had been hit outside the city, a day or so outside the city, which you had no information on, and they seemed to be carrying goods and all of those goods have been taken. Now, if you guys did not get those goods and had no knowledge of them, those goods are now missing from both the people's hands and or the king's hands, which means there is a third party at work here.
And have you evidence of that?
I am currently still investigating. Unfortunately, there had been several months back, there had been a hit that had been put out on my party and myself when we ended up getting too close to what we thought was an organization, what we thought was just a group of people working with explosives. However, those explosives could have belonged to someone in a bigger sort of sense, as we were then ambushed and they attempted to be assassinated. Well, assassinated is a bit big, but they did try to kill us. And so we've known that there is some sort of party out there
I suppose,
isn't
but
on then.
I don't know what explosives has to do with us.
Don't you think it's odd that there are people out there making explosives before they even know a war will begin?
I suppose so.
I think those are the type of people who wish for a war to begin. Insidious folk, perhaps from foreign from Middlemere, that wish to take advantage of the good people here. What better way than to disrupt the way of life and make living worse for everyone?
I see. You see him kind of furrow his brow a little bit as you describe people taking advantage of the people here. And he says, well, if what you describe is true, then I would want justice enacted on that person.
I agree as well. Something must be done. I just do not wish to act before I know that the right person is brought to justice.
I see.
Also, it's kind of annoying that there are people out there trying to kill me in my company.
A little annoying, yeah.
I see. Well, if there are folk who are after you, then you're welcome to stay here with us in the tavern if you need protection.
I am very thankful for your kind offer. As it is, we are not too certain. We can trust you of your organization. However, well, you saw that Lucre was able to get in.
Aye. It is worrying to have a serpent in my own ranks, but he motions to the men that are around him, specifically this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Just kind of sweeps his hand along all the guys but you've seen kind of crowded around him throughout all your visits to the tavern. And he says, but I trust these men with my life.
I mean, you would have to. But they were also... Why were you left alone in the morning?
Well, I'm not surrounded by bodyguards all the time. Rather stifling, don't you think?
I think to be stifled in order for the greater good might be a necessary evil.
Well, thought I could steal downstairs for just breakfast, but I suppose I won't make that mistake again. I'll keep guards with me wherever I go.
In any event, until we know who this Crown organization is, it might be best to stay careful. Someone clearly wants you dead, and it is not the king.
Well, if you've evidence to show me that it's not the king, then I believe you, but until then, I don't think it's such a far shot that an incompetent assassin might be sent by an incompetent ruler. I believe my eyes before I, well, no offense, believe stories.
Oh, I do not take offense. I would want to vet any stories as well.
Of course, I'm glad you understand. But if there is folk out there who are thieving supplies and, well, acting against the people of this town and this realm, then I would like to see them punished as well.
Perhaps there's a way that we can use their customs to our advantage. They want someone in your ranks. We have been working on attempting to find a way to get someone into their ranks. If we're able to do that, we will have positive proof. An
I see.
eyewitness.
Well, you lot seem confident about your stories, so I would like to work with you if we're able.
Yes, I think information shared betwixt people that can be trusted at this point is a necessity.
Aye, but I'm afraid I don't personally know much in the way of thieving.
Well, I mean, that's a good thing.
I suppose so. He kind of actually thinks for a moment and kind of drifts off into thought. You see him look away from you, strokes his whiskers on his chin. Wasn't there that? Colonel, wasn't there that fellow outside of town? You tried to recruit him, right? And this lad here with the eye patch nods and goes, "Aye, Red Ryan." And then he looks
Red
back to
Ryan.
Dominic looks back towards you guys and goes, "There was an old thief, retired. Not to worry." He kind of holds up his hands and kind of shakes them to dismiss. He's not a malcontent, just an old retired thief. Rather notorious in his day. But if you want to know more about thieving, I'm sure he'd be able to help you. We offered him a place in the Revolutionary Army, but he told us he was retired. He lives just outside of town. Connell can show you the way.
That's as good of a lead as any. Thank you.
Well, I'm happy to help, but I'm sorry I can't do more. Again, if you find more evidence, please bring it back. I would like to know if what you say holds water.
Of course.
And if you do find someone who's kind of looks around at all of his people, who's causing this pain to our people, I would ask you to bring him here to me. I'd like to punish him myself. I think if he's been harming the people of this land, then they should get to see justice be done, don't you?
Justice should be fair. Teddy says.
He nods. Very well then. Colonel, you can show them the way to Red Ryan. He nods. Are you to head there now then? Connell asks.
Teddy looks at Kaj. I
Nod.
think so.
Alright, it's not too long of a walk outside of town. And so he leads you back out of the fishery. Let's copy this whole group. He goes, "Do you have a map?" as you're kind of walking with him out of the fishery. And you kind of unfurl yours and show him. And he notes that you take the path north and travel. And he notates out a little like path for you to head and kind of circles an area of the forest up to the north. And goes, "Cabins around there. Shouldn't be too hard to find if there's a fire going. Do you need me to walk you all the way there? Because I can."
We should be okay.
Alright, suit yourself.
We'll be fine, yes.
If you get lost and can't find him, come back and find me and I'll walk you there. And he makes his way back into the tavern.
Wow.
Dude, how does Gale always know?
Well, what do you mean?
fucking forest. We're ending up there anyway.
Well, we had to go to the
Mm.
forest.
He was about to skip a step because he's just lucky or fucking gifted or something. Seriously, we should look into this or something. There's something going on there.
Maybe it's just the wind, Deborah.
Or we should follow it just all the time.
So you guys make your way across town, up over the bridge, across the river, and leave town behind. You pass by some rather unsuccessful-looking farm fields with some of the crops kind of old and withered looking, and make your way beyond them into a stretch of forest. Can somebody make a survival check for me? Doesn't matter.
You got tips?
Oh, sorry. Don't do mine. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Definitely don't do mine.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You guys can all roll it if you want to. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's more just to determine how long it takes you to get there.
Oh my goodness.
This is so
Jesus.
cursed right now.
You
I
guys
just- I knew all the
suck.
tips.
Yeah, we'll do them in order then, because that's funny. So
Oh,
yeah, you
boy.
guys make your way out into the forest, and at first Teddy's leading the way. For chat's reference, that was a 370 and then a 23 for their rolls. So first, Teddy's leading the way, and then as you're walking through the forest, Teddy, you glance down at the map, the circled part of the forest, and you realize you have no idea where you are. And so you just kind of quietly, without bringing too much attention, just hand the map to Kaj. And for a second, Kaj, you kind of confidently stride on to make your way into where you think it is, and then as you reach where it should be, you realize, no, this is not the right spot. And so you just quietly pass the map to Gale. And for about an hour, Gale takes you in completely the wrong direction with his 0. And then just after about an hour or so, you actually see the town in the distance ahead of you, and you realize that you've walked all the way back to town. And then Gale, you just quietly pass the map to Tipper. And so after about 2 hours of wasted time, you turn back into the forest, and Tibbs, you lead them in the correct direction. And you walk for a while, kind of into the afternoon. And as you make your way to where you feel is about the right spot, for the circle that's been drawn on your map, you actually see with your 23 a little curl of smoke up above some of the trees in a gap, a little clearing, and you make your way towards that. And soon you find yourself in a little grove, and the only thing in the grove is a small cabin. And indeed, as you approach it, you can see that there is a lazy lick of smoke curling up from the chimney.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
It was so nice to walk through the forest for a while there.
Is that why it took so long?
Probably not.
Dude, is it just me since we were in town for a minute, but this grass looks so grassy.
Oh, hey,
Maybe.
why is it so bright?
It
It looks so fresh.
I wasn't talking about that.
Oh.
It is.
Yeah,
But
one could
that
describe
is-
them as new assets added to a map maker.
New plans just dropped.
Plants grow.
New flora pause.
Expansion pack.
uh,
Wildfather dropped the new expansion pack. Oh yeah, so you make your way up to the little cabin. You can see kind of like some sort of light flickering in the window. What do you do?
No breaking in.
Teddy puts back his lockpicks. No. He just knocks.
Yeah, there is indeed a rather sturdy looking lock on the door. Yeah, you knock, and then after a moment, you hear like multiple clicks from behind the door, and then the door opens just a tiny little crack. Who is it? State your name.
I'm Teddy. These are my friends.
Who are you working for?
Teddy is actually like stumped for a second. It looks at Kaj.
We're kind of self-employed at this point, right?
I suppose. Yeah.
Why are you here?
We have some questions because we were told you'd be able to help us if we had any questions about
I'm retired.
stealing. Oh no, we don't. We don't want you to steal anything.
And why are you here?
Things were stolen, and we were told you were the only person who might know anything about stealing things. If
You
we
sense
wanted
a
information.
Yeah, you sense a sort of pause from behind the door as whoever's behind there kind of thinks it over. What was stolen?
Food and supplies for the people of Middlemere.
There's another long pause, and then the door kind of creaks itself open to allow you to enter.
Teddy goes in, and he doesn't have his mask on, by the way.
Okay. Did you take it off at a certain point? I'm just trying to remember when you took it off.
I
Was it on
meant to
this trip
say,
or was it before? Yeah, if you meant to say it, then tell me when you would want
yeah,
to
I
do it.
meant to say it when they went into the tavern to talk to the
Revolutionary.
yeah, to Keen.
Okay. Yeah, then we'll say that's when you did. All right. So yeah, if you're all going in, then you make your way into the cabin. You realize as you enter that the fellow behind the door had a crossbow leveled at you the whole time, and he's kind of walked back away from the door, but he does still have it in his hands, pointing it at you.
No.
And
Damn it, man.
the man kind of looks you guys over and says, "All right, the rest of your names then."
Gosh.
Tibber.
He looks at the one person who hasn't said their name.
My name's Kale.
And I suppose if you're here, then you already know who I am.
Red Ryan, we were told.
He nods. And you're here for what? Advice then?
Yes. Outside of
He shifts the crossbow in his hand a little bit and just kind of says, "You better not be revolutionaries. I already told them no."
we are not revolutionaries.
All right then. Have a seat if you want. Motions to the table.
Teddy will take a seat and kind of like not like towards the table, but like towards him.
Yeah. He's still holding the crossbow, but he lowers it a little bit. He's not training it directly on you. He's just still
Yeah.
punching it.
So there have been shipments that have been going from the king's supplies and caravans are supposed to be going to the major cities and towns of Middlemere. Each one of them have been intercepted. And the only thing people have to go on it, the king has to go on it, is that an organization known as the Bandit King. That's all they really know about them.
Bandit King, eh?
Yes.
I've heard that name before.
In what context?
Well, it's an old story. From when I was younger. Back in my... kind of shrugs his head a little bit. Glory days.
Can you tell us the story? I've never heard it.
All right, I suppose. But I'm gonna put some tea on. Kind of slumps the crossbow over his shoulder and gets to work putting some tea on. And then he sits down across from you as it boils. All right then. Bandit King. You want to hear about the Bandit King? Well, back when I was a thief in Glory Bell, there was this story about a youngster. An up-and-comer, I suppose you could call them. In the, well, you know, the circles. A story about this... Well, I don't have a name for them, but... I suppose... battered, beaten, orphan. Coming up from the streets. An urchin, I suppose. Not particularly fearsome in stature, but smart, you know, clever. Cunning like a fox. And of course, someone in my profession I took interest. Did my, you know, research. And well, I didn't find anything. Not a single name. It was an elusive fellow, that Bandit King. That was the only name I got. Sort of moniker, if you will. And they called him that because he was not just robbing things himself, not a cat burglar, not a muscle man, not strong arm robbery, but organized crime. He was taking the others, members from the slums, members from all sorts of other crime gangs, combining them, uniting them under his banner. That's how we got the name. But I never found any face behind it. There was a time I was approached by a bunch of, well, roughnecks, one can only describe them. Told me that they wanted me to do a job for them. Just some petty thievery. Beneath me, I thought, and besides, at that time I was already thinking of getting out of the game. And they showed me the job. They'd had it written down on a scroll. And signed at the bottom, not a name, just a sigil. A masked crown. And I knew it had to be him. I turned that job down faster than anything I've ever turned down before. And well, that's when I became serious about retiring. Takes a sip of tea.
Hmm.
But if you're describing organized smash and grab against caravans, well, it does fit his modus operandi.
I see. How have they been so elusive for so long?
It's a mystery to me as well. Tell you I did my research.
That sort of that's a lot of planning, and if one were to try to do a smash and grab like that for an entire caravan, you would need manpower and at least a secondary location, correct?
You'd need some place to bring the supplies, yes. You'd need a safe house, or some sort of hideout.
What does a hideout need?
Well, enough beds for your fellows to sleep. You need... Well, you need supplies, you need to feed everybody, but sounds like they're already stealing that. You'd need multiple entrances, escape routes, probably.
So this place can't be small.
Not if it's this well organized. They'd need a lot of members. Have to be rather expensive.
Would something like an abandoned castle make for a good hideout?
I suppose, but it's a little... He kind of thinks for a moment. It's a little... obvious, I suppose. If I were going to choose a safe house, I'd choose something a little more sub rosa, if you will. Something more
Hmm.
subtle.
To name yourself king is not something so subtle.
I
But I
suppose
understand.
it does inspire a certain sense of unity. It is a nice touch, but I imagine if there were any abandoned castles, they'd be well known, don't you think?
True. And you don't know of any places that might fit the description? Well, they wouldn't be very good hideouts, but
In this
any
area? Hmm.
uh
Well, if you're talking about the area around Tradewater, if I was arranging it, I certainly wouldn't do it in town. Especially if they're robbing caravans. There'd be too many supplies going in and out. Someone would notice it and ask questions. And, well, when you're in my line, people asking questions are your greatest foe. So I'd do it somewhere out of town. As for where out of town, that's really hard to say. Some old cave, maybe. An abandoned building.
I see. Thank you. This is very helpful.
He nods.
Teddy looks around to see if anyone else has questions.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
There was something I was going to ask. These caravans that have been robbed, you've seen them.
Only the aftermath.
What did that look like?
Teddy kind of describes what they saw at the scene, how there were like a ton of footprints and stuff, and nothing was really left of value and whatnot. Oh, and
Hmm.
and there was blood.
Well, certainly sounds rather standard. Smash and grab. Ambush, most likely set up ahead of time. I imagine some of those caravans had guards, but if it was an ambush, then they'd be at a disadvantage already. If it were me running it, I would take the supplies, whatever we could, destroy the rest, whatever can't be carried, and bring it back to the base.
So you would, you would think that perhaps it was close to the base.
Hmm. Well, that would depend on the supplies that the Bandit King had. If the Bandit King was setting up these ambushes, then he'd have time to prepare ahead of time. So if these bandits have wagons of their own at their disposal, or well, perhaps they've taken some of the wagons with their own horses, then it wouldn't need to be close, no.
Hmm.
Which makes it hard to determine a location. I am
So it
at a
would have
loss,
to be
though,
in a,
as to the motive. Just greed. Just supplies. Doesn't seem right.
well, we have a theory that they want to start a war, but we're not sure exactly why.
Start a war with robbing caravans?
Well, the Revolutionary Army thinks the king has not given any supplies to the people because all of the caravans that they have been sending with supplies have not made it.
Right, I did get that lecture from back when they tried to recruit me.
Eddie's kind of lost in thought right now. Do you think something like a crypt o- or or big ruin somewhere would work?
Well, I scoped the area pretty thoroughly before I decided on this safe house. He taps the table. Perhaps, though, few too many people know I'm here. Might be time for another move. But I didn't see any ruins in the area. Not really. There was that great old field, but no, I think the Revolutionary Army is using that as their camp.
The field?
To the east of town.
The prairie.
Oh,
Not in the prairie, no. Just out beyond the woods to the east. There's a clearing. Clearing wasn't really good for my purposes. Too wide.
I suppose we'll go there next then.
As for crypts, I can't think of any. Any graveyards would be close to town. And surely someone would have seen supplies moving in and out.
And it would have to be an extensive crypt anyways, I suppose.
Aye, larger than any crypt I've ever seen. In order to house that sort of operation. Plus, if they have wagons, well, I don't know how you get a wagon into a crypt.
Hmm. We don't know if they had wagons or not.
If they were carrying that many supplies from merchants, then I imagine they might. But you're right, we don't know for sure.
It's a good assumption. Well, thank you so much for all of your help.
Of course, I've stolen many a thing in my day, but I've never stolen food from the hungry. Besides, if you ever find out this Bandit King's real name, promise you'll come visit. I'd like to know. It's haunted me for quite a while.
Well, if we find out, I don't see why we won't.
Well, and that's all the payment I need for my information.
All right. Do you know a Ned?
Ed?
Nedrick.
Afraid I'm not familiar, no.
Hmm.
Edric. You see him like think back. You can almost visually see him sifting through pages and pages of people he's met in his many years.
Mhm.
There was a Nedard, and well, that one was just Ned. Well, there's some Neds, but a Nedrick, not anyone that I think would still be around these days.
I see. Well, we won't take up any more of your time.
Well, it's not bad having company from time to time, I suppose. I like the isolation, but sometimes it gets a little lonely.
Eddie's gonna make his way to the door.
Yeah, he kind of walks you guys back to the door. Teddy, as a person who has also kind of lived a life on edge, you estimate that he's escorting you to the door to make sure you all leave.
And so that there's no one behind him, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so he walks you guys back to the door and he kind of leans up against the doorway. He says, hold on, are you headed back to town?
Most
Straightwater, I
likely,
mean.
yes.
All right, then, word of warning. If I was this bandit king, I'd have eyes in town. Settlement like that, if he is nearby, he'd need eyes in town.
We were afraid of that.
And well, you recall what I said about folk asking questions. I'd keep your wits about you and watch your backs.
Eddie nods.
Very well then.
Oh, wait.
Aye?
He quickly tries to describe the crest of the crown to him. You haven't seen a symbol like that, have you?
Crown? Well, there was the masked crown, but what you're describing, if there was no mask, doesn't sound like it. Other than that, well, I don't know. Crown means king to me, but not much dealings with the king.
I see. Thank you.
Of course. He waits for you guys to leave.
Thank you.
He nods. Yeah, as you guys make your way away from the clearing, you can see him just kind of standing in the doorway with his crossbow, waiting for you guys to leave before he closes the door. And so, as you kind of gather back around in the forest, what would you like to do now?
What time is it?
So it's kind of evening-ish. As you kind of sat there and talked with him for a little bit, took you a while to walk out here. So it's kind of
Oh,
like very early evening, kind of just late afternoon, early evening. By the time you walk back to town, it'll probably be almost night, dusk.
Should we try to go to that campsite that he was talking about?
At nighttime? Might be a good idea.
Yeah, sure.
What have we learned today?
A lot more about the Prince of Chains and the Old Moons.
More than I can make out.
We know
You think-
more about the
Well-
specs of the hideout. I can't believe we never asked Finn if they used wagons or not.
They left a lot of wagons behind when they were taking stuff, so I assume they'd have to have wagons to take everything out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good
And
assumption.
then we could try to follow the tracks.
You think we can assume it's between here and where we left his sister?
Probably. It would have to be someplace isolated.
There's a couple days in between. We only saw the...
The stretch between here and Avonlea would be a pretty wide distance. Be hard to canvas the entire thing.
Yeah.
But I assume you're making your way back to town regardless, right?
Yeah, to the site.
Oh,
To
that
the
clearing you was talking about?
to the clearing.
The clearing that the guards are using for their camp, right? For the army.
You weren't given an exact location, but you could just walk around for it and hunt for a wide open clearing.
Oh, I thought it was.
He said east, but that's
Yeah, there's a whole
A
lot
lot
of
of
east there.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a lot of
a lot
east.
east.
he said it was
That's true.
fairly close, so it wouldn't be like impossible to find. It wouldn't be like searching the entirety of Middlemere, but it would require some survival checks to find it just by happenstance.
Well, what do you guys want to do? Worst case scenario, we camp out.
I want to go to the forest.
Well, we know your guys' navigation is absolutely terrible, so
I'd be okay with walking around in the forest personally.
Yeah.
Also,
we
might
could-
give us a chance to look for whatever was going on before.
And for pale shades and nightcaps.
Yep.
To the forest it is, Teddy says, standing in the middle of the forest.
I was about to say, aren't we already in one?
You're in the northern forest, but you can head back to the east. It'll take you close to town, but if you want to kind of cut the corner, you can cut the corner.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, cut the corner.
Just survival checks then. Across the board.
Boy,
Everyone?
Yeah, you can all make one.
Yay.
lovely.
8 from Tibber, a 17 from Teddy, an 18 from Gil, and if Kaj is gone, I can roll his for him.
I bet.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
That's not
13,
survival.
Never mind.
13
Fuck
from
me then.
Kaj. So our highest is an 18 from Gil. And with an 18, it'll take you a little bit of time, but you will find it. So for a second, let me describe.
Tibbs roll the lowest after talking all that mess. That's crazy.
Yeah, we switched.
All right, yeah. So you make your way back towards town, but you cut the corner and head east instead of heading right south to town. So that saves you a little bit of time, but you spend another kind of hour and a half just wandering the forest, and you don't find much there at all. Just pine cones on the ground and the occasional bird singing in the trees. But just as you're about to give up, Gale, you hear some soft voices on the wind. It sounds like maybe a crowd of people, multiple people, and you follow that just a little bit, kind of southeast, adjusting your direction slightly. Yeah, you find some pretty flowers as well. Thanks, Chat. And as you kind of adjust your direction a little bit to follow Gale, pretty soon you see through the gaps in the trees tents and bonfires, and as you approach, you hear a couple guards call out to you, and they just say, "Hold it, who's there?"
Guys,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Who is there?
who are we?
What do you mean? I was waiting for one of you guys to say something. I've been talking all day.
Who are we? Who do we introduce ourselves as?
There's a long silence, and then the
Mhm.
guard calls out again, "Approach and state your purposes."
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Sorry. I thought he
State
said
your
porpoises.
Yeah.
Teddy will approach.
All right, yeah, you approach to kind of the very edge of the clearing. And this is what you guys see.
I don't hear boss music.
So you stand in a massive clearing that is lined with tents. You can see soldiers milling about the camp, all kind of marching in different directions, all of them wearing armor. And there are countless soldiers in camp. But you've approached the guards, and they have asked you, state your purposes. What do you say?
We're looking for Nedrick.
The guard just kind of stands there for a moment. Hedrick, who?
Oh, I thought it would be here.
A lot of people at camp.
Are there any Nedricks?
How should I know?
Ask.
Well,
Do
so
you
what's to
not
just
keep a
shout,
list?
hey, it's
Yeah.
Nedrick,
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah, can you? do
Yeah.
that? Actually?
That'll
Well,
probably
all right
work.
then. Oh, is Nedrick here? Anybody named Nedrick? He just screams out into the distance. You kind of see a couple people stop to pay attention to what he's saying, but everybody just keeps walking. He turns back towards you and goes, no, Nedrick's here.
Mhm.
Maybe they didn't hear you.
Can we check? We're-
What, you're gonna go walk around and ask every single person in camp?
Well, no, I mean, you did just show us that we can yell. So I was thinking about doing that in a couple places.
You just want to walk about camp yelling for Nedrick?
Yep.
If it finds him.
He looks at the other guard. The other guard just shrugs. It's not like they're gonna be able to do much. There's hundreds of us here. And he just kind of shrugs and goes, all right, well, suit yourself. Hold on, why are you looking for this Nedrick anyway? Maybe that'll help us find him.
Someone was looking for him.
Who?
Friend asked.
Who's the friend? Maybe that'll help us find
Well-
him too.
We can't just. We can't just tell. It's
Why not?
a little It's a little complicated.
No, it sounds like you're here on a secret mission, and we don't exactly.
Secret mission.
I
Looks like
promise
they're
you,
just
it's
gonna
not
let
that
you-
cool.
No, fine. It is a secret mission. This is a secret mission from a
From?
particular lady that Ned is. Well, see, he's married, and there is a certain young lady who is trying to get a hold of him. A certain young lady who may or may not have known that he was married, but is still interested.
All right, I get it. Sounds messy. He kind of glances at the other guard again.
Teddy's gonna start to move forward.
All right, don't make any problems in camp.
Should have told that to Nedrick.
I don't know who Nedrick is.
I don't know either.
Teddy's gonna yell, just Nedrick.
Scream Nedrick. Nobody responds.
Yeah,
Causes
she's
a lot of
gonna-
trouble for this Nedrick guy.
I wanted to see the camp.
What are you?
Yeah, as you kind of make your
Why?
way through camp, you can see kind of they've carved out several lanes here. They got horses and racks full of weapons. They've got just countless tents in which you can see some people kind of inside of them. There's folk gathered around bonfires. There's folk kind of sharpening weapons, and just the entire camp is crackling with energy. But people don't take too much notice of you. They so you see some people throw you kind of some odd glances. They don't recognize your face and stuff like that. But they imagine that the guards let you pass, and so they kind of ignore you. Nobody approaches you. You get a couple glances when people call you when you call out for Nedrick, but nobody actually responds.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah. Teddy's just gonna keep doing that and then get bored after he's gone through the camp and then be like, okay, we can go.
How many people you think here have actually fought for something?
Well, they're about to fight for their home now, I suppose. For their autonomy.
So they hope.
Hey, I'm all for being free.
Mm,
No one should be in chains. Teddy touches his necklace.
at the cost of destroying every church in the country.
Sometimes the church is the one that puts you in the chains.
Iced tea.
Sometimes.
I feel like I could take on pretty much anyone here.
One
You
on
get that
one,
vibe?
maybe.
Spar with somebody.
I bet you could spar with someone.
That seems like punching down. I don't know.
Does anyone want to
You don't have a
spar
problem
my
with that usually.
friend? Teddy's gonna ask.
Now you've gone and done it.
Just a friendly brawl.
Yeah, everybody who's kind of walking by you, they all seem like they're busy doing stuff. You get a couple like dirty looks, and someone kind of bustles by you and goes, "We don't even know your friend."
What?
Well, you said, "Does anyone want to spar my friend?" And they're like, "We don't even know your friend. We don't care."
Oh, yes. I mean, just who wants a good spar? Make sure that you're in fighting shape. You're about to fight for the most important thing in your life, you know.
For the rest of you, Teddy is standing in this square, kind of this junction in the camp, and shouting all this. Everybody's just walking right by it, ignoring Teddy.
I love it. Okay.
Teddy looks like a town crier who's calling for the apocalypse, and everybody just doesn't even look at him.
Teddy's gonna shrug and be like, I tried for it. No one wants to fight you.
Yeah, I didn't think they would.
You make your way back towards where you entered camp, and the guard kind of sees you approach and goes, "You find Ned?"
No, the tricky bastard.
Well, like I said, I don't know any Neds here, so I think you might be in the wrong place.
All right. Well, thank you for allowing us to try. Do you want to spar my friend?
No? Why would I
Okay.
want to do that? I'm on guard duty.
That's a good point. Sorry, Tibbs. I tried.
Something wrong with you.
Just being helpful.
Well, now what do we do? Go yell through trade water for him?
No, I think he's dead.
Seem to be in a yelly mood.
I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Yeah, probably. But what do we do if he is? Like,
We can't do anything. I mean, unless you want to meow at the person again.
I'm sure the first time was a fluke, and then you did it again, and that probably just sealed the deal.
You did it like 4 times, man.
Okay, but that was the first call, and as somebody else picks up, and then they do it, then it's a
Well, now they
fucking
know next
joke.
time if someone picks it up and they meow, they know it's us.
Well, that's the point. They don't want it to be us. If somebody picks it up, we don't meow.
Okay.
So why don't you call back without the meow?
Because they're not talking to us right now. Also, it's late.
It's been like a day, half a day. We could try again.
Try in the morning.
Yeah, let's try in the morning. You
Alright.
really want to talk to these people?
Heading back to town.
I want to make progress.
Well, they're gonna.
There's too much thinking. I want somebody to run out of the woods and fucking hit me or something. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
Fighting
it was
moons,
almost preferable
devils,
when they were trying to assassinate us.
fucking
Yeah, honestly.
scarecrows.
At least they had the balls to come at us.
Why haven't they just tried to straight up kill us yet?
They don't have to. We're not getting anywhere.
We
Yeah.
suck.
They're just gonna let us keep trying.
It's so sad.
They got a big bag of popcorn. They just
Just feeding us these little fucking strands that go nowhere.
So you're headed back to town?
Well, they're gonna
To the
sleep in the
church, yeah.
forest.
No, we're
Oh,
sleeping
you're
in the
gonna.
forest.
I thought we were sleeping in the forest.
Can we get
But
back
we
to the
are
church
not
while
on
it's
the
still
same
dark, or-
page.
You'd get back to the church just kind of right around nightfall.
Oh, okay then. They can just do that. Do you think Lila could scribe a sending stone?
Do what?
I don't really want to put a target on Lila.
That's true.
Also, even if she could, what if she just said it in another riddle?
And at least we would have another riddle.
A house in a field in a on an island. The house is brown. It has a roof.
All right. Yeah. So then you make your way back to town. You kind of come back in along this road here, probably. Over here. Make your way back. You're heading to the church to sleep.
Yep.
Guess so.
Well, all right. Yeah. Then you make your way to the church.
You think it's possible that we could do like a ritual to summon a god?
The summon a god.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's.
I think if the four of us could do it, then someone else probably would have tried to do it by now too.
Yeah. And also, aren't people trying to do rituals to summon devils?
Yeah, so you do it to summon good instead of evil.
I feel like if it was super easy, churches would do it all the time, just for like the clout.
A
The
what?
clout of
That's
summoning a god.
Be like, you come to mass, he's gonna be there.
What?
With a capital H.
What use would they have with God being around? Wouldn't that sort of get rid of the illusion?
What illusion.
What illusion.
Wouldn't even be an illusion.
Well,
Yeah.
not illusion. Words. Appeal.
Well,
You
Wouldn't
could just-
that make more?
If you could just
Probably-
call up God, do you think it would be as cool? Isn't
So
the
you probably
churches-
want to go to church more if you knew that God was
If
just going
God was gonna be in
just
church,
coming out.
I
well, it's a
think-
little different. It's not really church anymore. I feel like that's more like a
It's just
a-
hanging out or something.
human right thing at that point. It's like, oh, I'm sick today. Can you bless me real quick? Taps you on the forehead and you're good.
No, I mean, that's just using. That's not how that works. You think that a god
Wait.
would just heal you?
What
Just
else
because-
would he do? Isn't that what they're supposed to do?
It depends what god.
Hey God, can you bless my sins real quick?
I mean, the gods that I know the most about. Well, I mean, I know a bit about the bride and groom, and
There's two.
the bride and groom. They're Babylon?
Who?
There's two.
Babylon?
While they're talking, I'm gonna make a small fire over here. I'm gonna
Wait, what does
see if I
Hestia
can
do?
get any guidance from Hestia. What does she do? I don't ask her
Yeah.
what she does.
She's not a god, but like, does she do god things? Does she have a
Well-
god?
She helps me.
Is she like the messenger for a god?
Maybe.
Well, who's the god?
Who's Hestia's god?
Who does she represent? Or what is? I don't know how it works.
I don't know a lot. Remember, I didn't even know who Hestia was until this all happened. So
I thought you were talking to her. That's what.
I'm gonna try to, but I'm talking like we're talking all day long.
Aw.
Not everyone gets to whisper to the wind all the time.
Bird.
Rude.
I get
That was the
We
wind
just
talking
came at
back.
it before.
Yeah, that was the wind telling you to fuck off.
I'll ask. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna ask Hestia too much about her god right now. I think I'm gonna ask her more about our situation so that we're not stuck here.
That's
Can I
probably
watch?
best.
Can you watch?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Ooh,
I don't even know if anything will happen, but
I'm here.
I don't even know if you guys can see her.
That's
All
not
right.
fair.
So, Gail, are you just finding a spot to lie down?
I'm just going to relax.
All right. And then Teddy and Tibbs, are you both watching them?
Yeah.
Tibbs is there. Tibbs is
That's-
there for the
You're
golden
standing
fire.
where the fire is. Steady.
Oh.
The fire's in front of
Well, if I was a real tiefling, that wouldn't be a problem.
him.
You a real boy.
All right. So then we'll deal with Kaj. So Kaj, you want to attempt to commune with your patron saint?
Yes.
Very well. So you kind of close your eyes and almost kind of go into a meditation. What do you try to say to her?
I think I'll repeat the parts of the riddle we have for the Prince of Chains and the Oldman specifically.
Very well. Yeah, you repeat the riddles and ask Hestia for aid. And as you sort of meditate, you begin to feel like a sort of closeness, a warmth again. And then you open your eyes. The others, Tibber and Teddy, you don't see anything. You just see Kaj open his eyes, and they are glowing a bright gold to the point of sort of casting light in the room itself. But Kaj, you're the only one who sees Hestia the Golden stand before you. Her form is kind of faded and blurred at the edges as she stands there, and she gives off a soft gold glow as well. And as she speaks to you, you recall her voice. And she kind of looks down at you with her same warm smile as she always has. And she says, "Hello again, young one. Have you
Oh,
need of
Hestia.
my aid?"
Yes, we're in a bit of a stuck situation. I was hoping for some guidance.
I see. Well, I shall give it however I may.
I'm gonna tell her about the last two fortunes that have to do with the Prince of Chains and the Old Moon. Then
These riddles you speak, they are unfamiliar to me, these concepts you speak of. But then, in my day, we fought dragons, not devils.
okay. Specifics you probably won't know about, but since just that might be just a regional thing. I guess I'll tell her a little bit more about our situation with the looking into the rebellion and how it looks. I'm not sure if the Bandit King has much to do with them, or if they're like trying to turn the rebellion up against the king more. See if I can get some guidance there.
I see. You struggle for your people, then? It was the same in my day. But you walk with Amelina at your side, just as I do. I can see her in your footsteps. The divine. The path you're on is righteous. I can see that at the very least. Doubt yourself not, young Kaj. I think your gut already holds the answer.
Okay.
I have faith that you'll not be steered wrong, even if the answer is hard to see.
Thank you, Hestia. I'll do the best I can.
Very well. That's all I could ask of you. And I shall lend my strength in any way I can.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I cannot aid you further, but I'm a child of Sonderheim, and your lands are unfamiliar, even if I do recognize your divine.
No, I feel better hearing what you've told me so far. It helped a lot.
I am glad then. Is that all you seek of me?
That's all for now. Thank you again.
Then I shall continue to walk astride with you, unseen, until you need me again. And the glow fades. And the others, you see the glow in Kaj's eyes fade as well.
So,
Well,
Mm. So, Estia is not very familiar with what we heard about the Prince of Chains and the Old Men. I think that might be something that has more to do with Middlemere instead of where she's from.
uh,
I'm leaning more towards I feel more comfortable in saying that someone's definitely trying to get this rebellion going, trying to spark it.
Hmm.
I think something worried me from earlier that I hadn't really talked about yet. They're all out for blood. Obviously, we just saw an entire army to the east there. Do you think we can even do anything to stop it at this point?
Hmm.
I think perhaps if we were to come together against one enemy, this is going to sound awful, that probably looks different than us. It'll
Different than
probably
me?
work.
What do you mean by that?
For example, if humanoids all got together to go against something that doesn't look like a humanoid, they would all band together to do that. If someone is raising a hell army, I think perhaps all the humans and all of the elves and half orcs and orcs, and, you know, we would all come together and try to defeat that so that that realm stays where it belongs and does not take over ours.
That's an interesting way of saying it, but yeah, I guess you're right. Find the devils. Give the prince, the rebel prince, some evidence.
We have to remember not to call him the rebel prince to his face. He's a revolutionary.
I feel like you'd like that sort of thing.
Rebel? Hmm. Well, a rebellion
Yeah, they're
is something that something happens. Like, I don't know. A revolution is something that you stand up for. A rebellion is something that you're just like going against.
what?
But, anyways,
We'll find the devil. I don't think he's going to mind the semantics too much there. But...
yeah, I know. Find a devil. Get everyone on board.
Find the devil, and we've got the devil sniffing hound at our side now over. How do you look over his shoulder?
Whoa! Don't call
we go.
Runica that.
Woof.
No, this one.
Oh,
Do we even answer the question
what?
about being able to stop it?
But the
Oh, I
answer is
guess-
no. There is no way to stop bloodshed. However, perhaps we can shape it to go the best course, which is Middlemere against hell instead of Middlemere against itself.
I mean, maybe. It wouldn't really solve their problems.
What?
The thing that they're currently mad about, they would still probably be mad about it after, but
We can still
Well,
get food
they
out
can
here.
still-
The big thing
Oh.
that's going to continue to be a problem is
It's the Bandit King.
Mhm.
well, that. But even if we're able to solve that issue, it looks like our friend Keen has an issue with religion in general.
Perhaps so does the prince. I mean, the king's son. You saw what he was doing?
Prince Lawrence?
Yes. Just, you saw how he was not about titles and
I think he's just being humble.
well, I was just saying, perhaps he's not one that cares much about privileges either.
It's one thing to say
Dunno.
privileges, but it's really strange to me that they all forgot who was taking care of the sick when Silvervein was here. It wasn't that army I met in the east, it was
The church.
the church. I mean, it was us ultimately, but
It was Casador.
Quite easy to forget when things aren't actively happening.
mhm. Okay.
Okay.
It's hard to
Okay.
explain to you too, but even though she didn't give me much in the way of answers, I feel a lot better now.
I didn't see her. What does she look like?
Don't ask. What is she?
Maybe
Okay.
you'll see her one day.
Well, why do you get to see her? That's what I'm curious about.
Well, did you see his eyes? I think his eyes does the thing, and then he gets to see her.
Well, mine are yellow too, but they don't glow.
Yeah, it's different eyes.
Why
Mine
are
can be
his
yellow.
special?
I can have yellow eyes.
You weren't born like that, though. Were you born with?
Wow.
You were born with yellow
Was I
eyes?
born with eyes?
No, not you, Kaj.
Okay. Okay.
Was I
Oh.
born with eyes?
With yellow, gold eyes.
Well, I remember before they were brown, and then I went to that big change. But then they were gold.
Yeah.
But either way,
You weren't even
I can't give you specifics about why I can see her and you can't either.
I was
Maybe one
born
day,
with them, man.
well, she said Sonnerheim.
Oh, summer.
Where's
One
that
day when
again?
we're not busy saving the country, maybe we can go on a trip.
It's on the main island. Yellow.
Have you been there?
Me? Yeah.
What's it like?
Yeah. I have. I'm actually from there, kind of.
Oh,
It was a long time ago.
What the hell? You two are way more traveled than me.
Oh, I am
I didn't
way
know
more
that.
traveled than you.
Was. Okay. Find the devil, stop this bloodshed, go to Sonnerheim. That sounds nice.
Sounds easy.
All right.
Let's kill the moon.
Huh?
What?
I thought we were killing Scarecrow.
Mm,
All right, so you each kind of spread out to grab a spot to sleep. And
Oh, he's taking the door. And we'll take this one.
very well. You taking watches?
I'm assuming Tibbs is starting.
No, he's sleeping. He's just sleeping there.
I'll take first watch. It's kind of hard for me to sleep anyways right now.
Then the others you drift off, and guys, you take first watch. I made this roll like 5 minutes ago, while you guys were talking, but Kaj, during your watch, for the most part, it's pretty quiet, but just at a certain point, kind of later into the night, as things are dark and the town goes silent, you hear just a loud crash from outside. Just a single instance of it, and then silence again.
Okay. I'm just gonna head over to Tibbs up against the door.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm gonna nudge you awake.
Definitely sounded like it came from that direction, Kosh.
What?
I heard a loud crash right now. You didn't hear that? That didn't wake you up.
Mm-hmm. No, you did.
Should we take a look?
Yeah, sure. What kind of crash? Like a bird?
I think it sounded larger than a bird.
Oh, like a big bird?
Maybe a big bird, yeah.
Two birds. All right. So you guys leaving the others to sleep then?
I guess so.
Well, all right.
Surely won't go bad.
Okay. Where's the right room? Where am I taking? Here it's. All right. So first thing, just gotta make a few adjustments.
There's the birds.
Sound like crows, and if there's crows, there's a scarecrow.
Well, isn't the point that there isn't a scarecrow? Or there isn't birds if there's a scarecrow?
Find out next time.
So do you-
Okay.
Did it work or no?
Scared into crow.
Yeah. So are you guys attempting to be like stealthy as you make your way out into town, or what are you doing?
Nah.
No?
At least Tibbs isn't.
I guess not. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that from right now.
All right. Yeah. Then you make your way out of the church and kind of down along the road where you think you heard the sound come from, and eventually you find yourselves back at the center square. And as you make your way towards the square, you can see two figures in the darkness. They're kind of fussing with something. It seems like they're kind of rolling something along. And as you get a little bit closer, you see that they've got a barrel, and it's sort of tipped over on its side, and you estimate that that might have been what made the crash. You see these two fellows. They're kind of arguing. They're not facing you. They're facing towards the west, but you can hear them kind of trying to keep their voices down, but not succeeding all that well. And you hear the one on the north go, "Didn't I tell you to keep it quiet?" And then the one to the south goes, "Oh, sod off, Nedrick. You're one to talk about irresponsibility." And then the other guy goes, "Keep it down. I told you to keep it down." And then as they're kind of talking, you see them kind of grab that big barrel. And the one kind of lifts it up over his shoulder. The other helps to steady it. And you see them move the barrel towards the well. They're trying to pour what's in the barrel down the well.
Hey.
You call out to them and they kind of freeze. They whirl around to face you and they kind of lower the barrel, not able to pour any of it into the well. And as they spin around, you get a little bit closer. You don't recognize their faces, but you do recognize their armor. They're wearing Kingsguard armor. And that's
You guys
where we're on
need
the
help?
session. That's where we're on the session.
Fuck! No! Damn it, dude.
Sorry, but we're already 20 minutes over, so I need to
I was
find a
hoping you weren't gonna
cliffhanger.
look.
No, I've been watching it and I'm like, okay. Like, this was what was going to happen because I made the roll like 15 minutes ago for Kaj's passive perception, but because Kaj has the highest. But I was waiting. I'm like, instead of just having them go to sleep and then we start the session with this, I'll let them cliffhanger it.
Evil.
So yeah, this is where we'll end the session.
Okay.
Stop asking everybody who Nedrick is now.
The hell are two Kingsguard doing here?
Well, they have Kingsguard armor. It doesn't mean they're Kingsguard.
They had to get them off someone.
It's going to be very hard for us to convince them we're Kingsguard. We're brand new.
Oh, yeah, I
You could
guess.
just okay. I'm not there. I'm not there.
You're not there. You're sleeping.
I'm asleep.
Alrighty. So, um, I was gonna say off the top of our head, but I think it's me who's the problem this time.
You. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
I
my.
said so.
The
Okay, let me see.
cliffhanger for the week off? That's crazy.
Let me see. Okay. I might be able to do next week. I think it's the week after that's harder. I said I was gonna be kind of 2 in a row that were gonna be difficult for me. I think I might be able to do the next one. Next week. Hmm. I'll keep you guys posted. I'm gonna say it's a tentative yes because I think I can. I think I can. Just so that we don't miss 2 in a row because that would suck. Because I know the one after it is going to be most likely a no. So I'll do my best to try to make sure I can make it. If it becomes a no, I'll let you guys know. But until then, I'll say it's a tentative yes.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right then. So for our viewers, we'll say it's a tentative yes for next Monday, also at 7 p.m. EST, and we'll return to this cliffhanger and we'll play it out. So, solid maybe, yeah. The next stream, I think I'll be around Wednesday. There'll probably be nothing on Friday, but Wednesday I'll be around. So we'll do a Disco Elysium on Wednesday, and then I'll probably just skip Friday entirely because I'm busy the weekend, and I think I'll be back for the Monday. So we'll do Wednesday, and then I'll just kind of take the long weekend off. Well, long for the streams. So yeah, that's what's going on. We'll have a Wednesday 7 or 8, probably 8. We'll do some more Disco Elysium, so check that out. We're making good progress on that one. We've almost solved that case. I think we'll have some interesting stuff happen on this coming stream because it feels like we're at the point where all we need is one breakthrough and we'll have it. So yeah, tune into Wednesday, and then as I said, Friday off, and then I'll come back for Monday, and we'll probably get another 3 crowns in. Other than that, for those who want to be up to date on the schedule, like if I'm going to cancel it and stuff, then or if I shift some stuff around, times and that like, then follow me on Twitter because I tweet the schedule and stuff like that when I remember to. Any changes that I make. So if you want to get caught up on the old stuff, if you want to go watch the previous session, maybe you want to go back to the beginning of this whole season here, 3 Crowns, or even if you want to go back further and watch Silver Song, which is sort of the arc before this with these same characters, then check out the archive on YouTube. I move all the VODs from Twitch to YouTube so that they can stick around for all of you to watch. So go back and check that out if you want. Silver Song is on there. And the rest of 3 Crowns is as well. But there's a whole bunch of stuff on there, all my other campaigns. If you want to join the community and discuss the campaigns, what you think is going to happen, what you think has already happened, what your theories are, you want to do some theory crafting, then you can join the Discord at that link there. It's not just for my players; it's for whoever wants to join. So feel free to join. And last but not least, if you want to read more about the living world that I run all my campaigns in, which is of course Grand Lorien, maybe you want to learn about Sonnerheim or those saints that we talked about a lot, then you can check some of that stuff out on the World Anvil. It's sort of like a wiki for kingdoms, continents, deities, factions, all sorts of stuff. So if you want to check all that out, then take a peek. Do your extracurricular reading. But other than that, thank you for watching. Thank you for those who followed during the stream. Big Joey 21. You made us hit the follower milestone, so thank you for that. Feels good. I'll have to set that again. I'll have to reset it. All right. You need a Prada so that we can talk about The Devil Wears Prada. Fair enough. Alrighty. So I'll send you guys somewhere since we're got enough people here to do a raid. Where should I send you though? I feel like it's Monday, so it's probably spooky. So she's always live
Spooky
on
is
Monday
live.
too. All right.
Star Fox Adventures.
Star Fox still? All right. Wow. Sounds good. Oh, wait, hang on. Is Jotun also live? Okay, we raided Spooky last time, so we'll switch it up. We'll raid Jotun, who was in my Beyond the Eye campaign, that little shorter one that we did.
Oh yeah.
The Spelljammer one. He played the Cyclops-like character who was blind but could shoot lasers out of his eyes. That was a lot of fun. Adam was the character's name, but I'll send you to Jotun. He's doing Diablo 4, so I'll send you there. Jotun. There he is. Perfect. All right. So thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you guys either on Wednesday or if you're here for 3 Crowns, then Monday. And have a good week. If I don't see you till then.
Thank you for DMing.
Thank you for playing, and thank you, chat, for watching. And go say hi to Jotun. He's a lovely, nice guy, and I'm sure his stream is great as well. Take care, everybody.
Bye, chat.
Bye,
Have a good
night.
chat.
Bye bye.